Alright, internet, time for a quick update. Getting rid of this Peninsula. Now this Peninsula does have electric going to it. As you can see here, I've already disconnected the outlet. The electric comes in from the basement up to the cabinet, and then from that outlet it runs along the back of the cabinet to the back of this cabinet out there, and then up to this outlet, and then back over to that outlet. So I need to disconnect all the electric here so I can get this out. We'll temporarily be down some outlets, and we'll end up having to reroute this further under the floor up to the wall once these cabinets are out to get electric back to these outlets. This outlet will probably end up actually moving because I believe that's going to be right over the stove, which we can't really have. But yeah, that's the game plan. So I'm going to start working on this, and I'll bring it back in once it's all disconnected and we're ready to cut this cabinet out. Okay, I got the top off. See, I cut it off here. It was a bit harder on my blade than I expected. I have some spray foam here. I'm just going to use the multi-tool with the flat edge. It does it pretty good, you can see, without damaging the cabinets. So you can see, nice. Comes off clean, so I'm going to get the rest of that off. And then I need to disconnect the cabinets here, down here, so this whole island comes right off. So that's my next step. So I'm going to work on this, and then I'll bring it back in. All right, I got the corner cabinet out, Peninsula out. Counter is cut off even. Temporarily, we're just going to get a folding table to put in here. And that will give us some counter space back. Well, I work on this only on weekends for a little bit. Next step though is to get this top corner cabinet out and this hanging cabinet out that was above the Peninsula. That way we don't whack our head on it, because this is probably about eye level here. So yep, that's the next steps. I'm gonna get on it, get this cleaned off, get them down, and then I'll bring it back in to see the final product here before we work on this floor. I gotta get the electric out and get this floor secure, because this is really soft. This is just Luan on the ground here. So it doesn't really support your weight too good. I'll be back soon. All right, time for another update here. See, I got Peninsula all out, the top cabinets out. I did get plywood down. I ended up cutting the concrete with a concrete blade, or a diamond blade. Worked really well. Just there. Got a 3x8 in. I wanted to go the 4x8, but I would have had to lift up that cabinet, and I'm just not ready for that yet. There's plumbing that needs to be disconnected. You see we got a table in there temporarily for some counter space. The next step is I gotta go actually start resizing one of the cabinets and do some sanding and priming on it, and just see how it turns out. Get it painted just to see what the final product's gonna look like. Make sure we're happy with the color. And that's gonna be probably this cabinet or that cabinet there. Haven't really decided yet. But I'll work on one of them and we'll get them in here, see how it looks. But as you can see, everything went together good. So have another update soon. But I'm gonna call it a day right now. Okay, it's been about a week since the last clip. Can only really work on this on weekends here for a little bit, but as you see, I'm in the garage. I'm got one of the cabinets we bought off Facebook here. I got all the hardware off it. See, it's a pretty good condition. Just gonna see what it stands up with. I'm gonna just use a little bit of 80 grit and work my way down to 220 on the face here just a little bit. I want to see basically what it looks like. I might not even go that far, just a little roughness. I want to see what it looks like. I also want to see here. I think I'm only going to hit this with a very light sanding, because it's not really wood. It's like a board with a light veneer on it. So I just need to get it roughed up a little so the paint can take. But on the front, I definitely want it looking nice. It's a little rough. I'm going to smooth it up. And then that one over there, I'm just going to cut. We can see here. It used to be attached to another cabinet with a gap here. I'm just going to cut this off straight down because I'm not going to need the space, so it's going to be an end cabinet. And we had all hardware off that. And then I'm going to get both in the house just to see how they look and where my electrical boxes are going to go. Because my primary goal today is getting electrical hooked back up to that wall so we can start using it. So just going to be a quick test, just see what it looks like, because I'm curious. But other than that, I'm going to get these in the house. I'll come back after I get the sanded down a little bit, just to see what it looks like. All right, see you soon. All right, I did a little bit of sanding. You can see the color difference here between the face and the side. This was with 80, and then down here, this was with 80, and then I jumped to 220. I'm probably not going to make that big of a jump over the rest of it. I'm thinking the faceplate, since it's solid wood, I'm going to do it properly with 80, 150, and then 220. But it's definitely nice with a 220. And then over here, I started with the 80, but it's really rough. Was not happy with that. And then I went over this part here with the 80 because I did this whole corner, and then I did the 220 on that, and that's really nice. And I did this just with the 220. So because this layer is so thin here, before I start to get a MDF area, I think I'm just going to do 220 on this because it turned out really well. This will take paint, the primer. I'm going to prime these with cabinet primer and then do 2 coats of finish enamel. The primer will seal it in well. You won't see any of the splotching at all. But yeah, this is going to be really nice just with 220 on the sides, and then doing a proper sanding on the front just because it's wood, and it is very rough here. There's a lot of dings and dents. So I got to use that 80 to start off with, just to, the years of abuse that a kitchen goes through, right? These are older cabinets. The kitchen's always going to get some abuse. So just to get those dings and dents out, this is just very nice, and definitely down here where I properly finished it off, it's going to take paint really well. So the inside of this cabinet, I'm not certain what I'm doing yet. I may take out this mullion and just do a tall cabinet because this drawer up here is almost useless to us with its depth. You can see here this is the drawer that we're dealing with. I mean, it's just so small. It's not much that would go into that between the sink and the stove. So, but I am thinking if I take out this mullion, take out that drawer, I can get a pull-out rack, and you could have baking sheets in there. It'd be a really good baking sheet drawer. It's nice and tall, and if you have a pull-out, so the whole drawer pulls out with the faceplate, have casters on the bottom, I think that would work really well. So I think that's gonna be the plans for this drawer, but we'll see as I go. Like I said, right now it's just a rough exploratory before I really get into it. So I'm gonna get this one loaded up, so get up in the house. That one, I still gotta cut off that side mullion on it, that was divided in 2 cabinets, and get all the hardware off it. So I'm gonna work on that, and then I'll see you in the house next. Okay, really quick, before I get this in the house, I just wanna show you this. I got lucky this wasn't glued on like the ones in the house. It was actually just screwed on. There were 2 screws going through the actual holes where the hardware for the drawers was. One up here and one down there. So that was actually really convenient. I thought this was going to be glued on because that's how pretty much all the ones in the house were. You see there is a little crack there. I'll have to fill in these holes, sand them down, make them look nice. But other than that, this is going to be a really nice side. It's going to be facing out. So once I get that all cleaned up, that'll be good. But yeah, everything's taken off, so off to the house. Let's go. Okay, I got my cabinets in place. I got them spaced out 30 inches because that's what I need for our stove to fit over here. As I mentioned previously, I'm going to have a microwave with a vent going out the back wall. And there's going to be a smaller cabinet going along the top. I'm going to put an outlet in the smaller cabinet to feed the microwave up into. So I want to keep it off to the side here as much as possible, because I don't want to have to contend with it taking up a lot of cabinet space. I've seen them in the middle before and they just get in the way. Whereas if I put it up off to the side, it will mean you could put longer stuff in the cabinet. It will just be in the way less. So there is actually a beam right about here running the full length down to, because that used to be the outer wall in the basement. So I can't really, my old electrical wire was here coming up to the floor, because that's pretty much as far over to the beam as they can get it without really drilling through that main beam, and it's just not worth it. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to pull up this board here. I'm going to cut the luan, and I'm going to actually run it along the basement till I get to that wall. I'm going to open up that wall and try to send it straight up the side of the cabinet, up the outlet up there. And then going to come back down to about the level of those old sockets there and send it straight across to above this cabinet here, where I'll be putting in a double receptacle next to this one for a double outlet, just so we have ample to run Christmas lights in the winter, along with any appliances that we might have plugged into it. We just don't want to have to unplug stuff. I know it's a small cabinet, but it'll be convenient. Cover up a turkey or whatever you want to do there. It's nice to have the extra outlets. That outlet's going to be going away. There's really no need for one right here. We have one on that side. I will be GFIing these two just in case something splashes. I think it's required to have GFI in the kitchen. Either way, I already have the outlet, so I'm just going to use it because this was already GFI'd. But that's the plan. Basically, we originally had 3 outlets on this anyways, one at the end of the island, one on, or 2 on the wall there. It's still going to be 3. Shouldn't change any of the requirements. It's just one circuit that I have the 3. It's just, I think you have up to 7 on a circuit, so we should be good here. So that's the plans. I'm going to get these cabinets out of here. I am going to draw here on the wall just to see where my stove is going to go and have it. That was the main reason for bringing the cabinets in here, so I can draw on the wall and know where the stove is going. And the reason I'm running along here about even with these existing outlets is because then I'll know where my wire is. Well, we're going to be putting up tile backsplash, so I should never really be drilling into it. But I'll know where the wire is, so I'll be able to avoid screwing into it. I don't really want to put it lower because screwing the cabinets in, and I don't really want to put it higher because screwing those cabinets in, screwing the microwave in. So just keeping it at that level where the tile is going to be is just going to be a good way to avoid worrying about screwing into that wire mistakenly. So that's the plan. I'm going to get after this, and I'll probably bring it back when I'm in the basement looking at the electrical. So see you soon. All right, change of plans. I tore this up so I knew where the wires had to go. Here is the beam of the old house. You can see they just put some 2x4s there for the cabinet to sit on. And I'm probably end up just leaving them there. I don't think there'd be a problem. But the old wiring that used to go up to this outlet up here was caught in the basement by the electricians when we moved in. And they just left it in there because this was under the cabinet. They couldn't get in there, which is fine. But I'm going to take a similar approach here. Rather than running it through all the joists, up the wall, and then having to go through, I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 2x4s there I'd have to go through. Just because, you know, you had the old wall of the original house and the addition. I'm not going to worry about this. I'm going to go get myself some metal conduit, pipe, and I'm just going to go underneath the old floor here. I have just enough room here. It's about 3/4 of an inch. To sneak it under there, I might have to drill a slight hole, but just gonna sneak it on there that way. Any weight on this doesn't accidentally pinch it. And I'm gonna get an elbow, go down to this corner here, and then do another elbow and go along here and get it up into this wall. And then from there, I'll probably run it up to one of these outlets, probably this outlet first, because that's where my GFI is going to be, and then back down and over and then back up to this outlet. So I won't have to go through any joists at all, or any 2x4s, nothing. I'll just cut a hole for my outlet there, cut a hole for my outlet there, and one conduit, just so that if anyone screws anything, or after, if we move out, no one's gonna hit that wire, just because it will be exposed in an unnormal location. So that's the plan. I'm gonna get some conduit and basically just get this lined up. All right, it's getting a little late, so I'm wrapping up. I got the armor cable ran there. I got the normal wire and the armored cable running up the wall up to this outlet. The armored cable is going to hook into the rest of the system. There's a junction box right there where they had hooked up the previous armored cable to. And then this is going to run down and then back up this stud to run around here. I have a box, so I'm going to have to cut probably this whole section out because it's a new work box. I didn't want to get an old word box. I wanted it to be, since it's a double box, I wanted it to be really secure, and figured it better to go this route. A little bit of drywall work is nothing considering what I got to do still. It was a pain getting the cable up because there was, you see there's a stud here and there's another one around here going this way. But I got around them. I cut this one back a little. But it's good. I'm probably going to secure that box a little better, get a really long screw and go into the siding a little. There's a sheeting, plywood sheeting, just go into that just a little bit to pull that box back, but then it'll be good. So yeah, I'm going to wrap it up, get some plywood down, and then I'll finish up the electrical another day. But that should be safe like that with the armored cable. Okay, quick update. It's been about a week since the last one. I have that box hooked up to the electric. I ran my wire down along the wall and up this stud here to this box, which I put in. And you can see I have both outlets there hooked up. So I had to go with a double USB on the right one, just to have a charging station here on the small counter. And double outlets just so that we never have to worry about running out. Now the only thing I have left to do is hook it into the rest of the system. So I'll show you where that's happening. So down here, there's junction box right here. You see the old cables just dangling. But the breaker is off. This is the only thing on that breaker. So I've just had it off this whole week here. Just gonna open that up, run this cable down along here, and basically just tie it in appropriately. So I'm gonna get after this and I'll bring it back in when I'm all done. Test. All right, I'm all done. See, I have the covers on. Power is back on. You can see the tester here. 2 lights is good. Correct wiring. Same on that one, correct wiring. You can see GFI up here. If I pop it, it goes off. Can reset it. And we're good. Oh, reset it. There we go. And we're good. So, and the top one, correct wiring. So, we're all set. This box will end up coming out because there's gonna be a cabinet here, so there'll be an extension plate on this box. So I'm not too worried about covering this up because, like I said, cabinet's going there. No sense messing with the drywall and worry about that when it's not gonna show. So that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day.